This is a little thing I invented. Say you're at work and it's a really boring meeting, because we've all been in a really boring meeting. How do you make it a little more fun, especially if somebody's doing like a boring PowerPoint presentation? It's a little game I came up with called Name That Graph. Okay? Basically, when somebody has a really busy graph, you try to title the graph at a name it really isn't. For example, I've seen this one before. This is a very common one. I never always hated these kind of graphs. And name it, is that A, revenue by sector? It's probably what it really is. B, barber pole and acid. Or is it C, the tie I gave my dad for Father's Day when I was 6?
Hey there, and welcome to yet another episode of Comedy in Place. This is the comedy show that comes to you from my office right here in my home in Southern California. I am your host, Don McMillan. Thanks for joining us today. As you can probably tell from that opening clip, this is the first of a two-parter called Name That Graph. It's kind of a game show. I always wanted to host a game show. This is my chance. And the way Name That Graph, I pretty much explained it in the opening clip, is if you're at a boring meeting and people are PowerPoint slides and you're dying, you're barely staying awake, you can play Name That Graph. Look at somebody's PowerPoint presentation, figure out what else that presentation could be. That's how Name That Graph works. And by the way, stick around at the end of today's show. More live comedy coming up in front of a live studio audience with real people laughing, so I know that stuff's funny. This may be funny here, but I don't know because I won't be able to hear you laugh. So let's get to today's Comedy in Place bit, which of course is called Name That Graph, my fabulous game show called Name That Graph. So let's look at the first one. This is a graph. You see it all the time. It's so common. When you have an expenses chart, it always starts high to the left and goes down to the right. Because everybody, we've got to cut expenses, got to cut it. That's always what it is. It's boring. Don't show me an expense chart. It's always going to do this. Left, high, right, low. That's what expenses by quarter looks like. What else could this be? Could be marketing budget versus effectiveness. Yeah. The more you spend on marketing, the less effective that product is. Trust me, marketing never leads to more productive products. It's just cooler, better colors, packaging, but the product itself, not any better. It drops, diminishing returns. Or what else could it be? It could be technical IQ versus management level. Yeah, you see engineers all the way to the left there. They know what they're talking about. Every step of management, they suck out part of your brain. By the time you're CEO, you don't know anything. You might be a great leader, but technically, forget it. That's how this works. Okay, let's go to the next chart. This one, classic flow chart. I love a good flow chart. Very pretty chart. That is the U.S. energy process flow, the different energy sources and all that. What else could this be? This could be the traffic flow at LAX. It is a mess there. It's just any airport, really. Any airport, a mess. In fact, I don't even want to fly out of LAX anymore. It would take me longer to drive there, get on a plane, and fly anywhere in the U.S. Just drive there. It's such a mess. That's the traffic flow patterns at LAX right now. It's a mess. It's a mess. This one is a great one. Sometimes charts are really cool looking. This is the barrels of oil per week, right? Barrels of oil sold per week. There's this little barrel and they stack them up. It makes sense. What else could this be? What else? Could be an aerial view of a backgammon game. That's what it would look like. That's what backgammon. That's what I thought of when I saw this. Or it could be golf balls lost per hole. Yeah, I don't know about if you're a good golfer, but that 12th hole, that was a tough hole. You lost 8 balls on the 12th hole. That's tough hole. Tough hole. Is this fun? Hope this is fun. This one's interesting. This is a product bubble chart. People love bubble charts. Here's the different products in our different product families and where they sit performance versus price and interesting part. Whenever I look at this, I always think that they don't look like products. You know what they look like to me? This could be the type of pill by color, right? You got Prozac there, you got Viagra, the different colors, different shapes. Happiness versus the dosage. Or what else? What else could it be? It could be amount of gas by bean. Yeah, that's right. And by the way, it's the volume of gas there versus pungency. And you see baked beans way up to the right. Baked beans, very dangerous on the volume of gas versus pungency scale. Oh, that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. This is only part one. Only part one of Name That Graph. There's more coming up later this week. In the meantime, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still laughing. I hope you're hanging in there. More live comedy coming up in a second. Here comes your video.
Here's one, very common. Do you ever see a graph that doesn't go up and to the right? It's how they all go. It's like an unwritten law. And that could be revenue by year. That could be a name A. B, that could be price of gas in May. We've all noticed that. Or C, the effects of Viagra. This is a fun game in meetings.